Welcome back to Installations with Steve. I'm Steve, and today we're going to be making a fireplace wood mantel ledge. It's going to be going right above a gas fireplace. We're going to make it out of basswood, which is like a nicer version of pine. We're going to start by ripping down the boards of wood on a 45 degree. So let's get to it. The mantel is going to be 8 inches deep, 3 inches thick, and about 54 inches wide. So I've ripped down the top and the bottom portions. Now we're going to do the front plate. So all we need to do with this is rip it down to 3 inches thick and then miter the top and bottom edge, and that will complete the top, bottom, and front plate and side plates. Okay, I've ripped down the front plate, or at least one side of it. Now I'm going to rip down 45 on the other side there. I've cut the shelf boards. Now I'm going to cut the internal structure. I just have this piece of pine, which is an inch and a half thick by 2 inches. And we're going to be cutting pieces that will go inside the shelf. I'll show you how that goes when we assemble them. These are the pieces. One's going to go here, one's going to go here. And then I think I'm going to have one along the front. And then there'll be a cleat system that goes here. All right, we have all the pieces of our shelf cut, or rather the mantel that we're making. It's basswood, as I said. And what we're going to do now is assemble the unit. We're just going to be using wood glue, my perfectly cut joints, and a brad nailer. Another important thing is to make sure your glue is as clean as possible, because when you get glue on the exterior face, it's just going to have to be sanded off, because when you stain it, the stain won't adhere to the wood if there's dried glue, which it's not really visible to the human eye. You only notice it once you start staining. So we're going to glue the joints and then brad nail the pieces together and then give it a good wipe down before the glue dries. The key is to put enough glue, but not so much it gets everywhere, because it's going to cause more work in the future. We also want to use the least amount of brad nails possible. So you can see, we have that. This is the front plate, which is going to go on the front. So put just enough glue, not too much. Take this front plate. Now any of these nail holes will be filled with wood filler that we're going to make. This is part of the internal structure. Inside the unit, you can never go wrong with too much glue, really. But on the outside, you do not want any glue. Children are home from school. This is the side piece. Slips right in like that. So get some glue and nail that in. Again, the joints aren't perfect, but once you fill it and sand it, it'll be very nice and smooth. I'm going to wipe it down, make sure there's no excess glue. The next step is to fill in the nail holes in any joints that may not look perfect. What I do is I take the sawdust from the offcut of this beautiful basswood and some wood glue, and I just mix them together into a paste like so. It will color match your wood perfectly, and it's free. Once this is applied and dries, a good sanding, it will look quite nice. All the edges will be smoothed and curved. So if you're making this at home, do not be discouraged. If you feel like you've constructed it and it doesn't look as perfect as you might think, this is what it looks like. Once you get it on, the color match is just perfect. We've constructed everything and filled in all the joints. The final step is to give it a really good sanding, smooth out all the edges, make all the joints look perfect. With the mantle sanded and completed, let's load up and get to the install. Let's not forget Kobe. I've arrived at the client's home, and to start off with, we're going to put up a round mirror above where the mantle is going. Next, we're putting up the cleat system to attach the mantle to. This is going on in a regular shaped wall, which was a little tricky considering that all the stones were different sizes and depths. After a little troubleshooting, we got it on just right. All right, we've completed the mantle. It looks beautiful. We've hung the mirror. Thanks for joining me.